Alrighty, boys and girls, back in the shop again. We're working on the Ariens Deluxe 28 super high output. This is the first one we bought. It's from last year's video. We ran a couple problems.
Carb dirty right now.
Yeah, carburetor is having an issue. So we believe there's some debris or something going on with the carburetor. So we'll be breaking into that. We have the new jack shaft. The hex jack shaft, what's down there. That one's in, so we're going to do that. We're going to do the bearings because this end, I believe it was this end, the shaft was spinning in the bearing and wore it down a bit. So we'll be replacing that. Other than that, I wanted to show you guys that the cables are still properly adjusted. This one's a tiny bit loose. Pull down your lever, Jake. Pull down all the way, and you can see what happens is down here the spring controls the tension. Let's let her up. Pull again. So it's an ingenious setup because you really can't over torque on the arm because the spring's a limiting device. Yeah, so that being said, we're going to get into pulling off the carburetor. I've done some governor work on these. These are pretty easy. You just pull off the knobs. And then you take all this stuff off, and it gives you access to the carburetor. I think there's a broken piece here that was vibrating. We're going to look at the heat shield on the muffler and see how that is. Everything else on this one, except that it's got to run now with a little bit of choke, which leads me to believe dirty emulsion tube. That has to be done. You can see we did the halogen upgrade on it for the headlight. We haven't put the heated grips on yet. Maybe we'll do that today. But other than that, it does blow snow like a monster, right, Jake?
Yep.
So the performance is there. Just a bad storage. My bad. Our bad. We must have left gasoline in the carburetor. So we'll get to it. And I think we changed over to the steel shoes because I don't like those plastic ones. That's entirely up to you. It's a matter of personal preference. I'd prefer not to have them. So if you like them, you're welcome to it. So we're going to get into this carburetor. Stand by.
It's like in newer condition than this one.
Yeah.
This one's got the inside.
Can I get a magnet tray? Get over there in your toolbox. Squeak behind me.
On all the old ones.
Yeah. Right there, son. Dag burn it.
Did you lose one?
Drop one on the floor. Oh yeah. Call an ambulance. I can't remember. I took one of these off. And I guess these. Grab that piece I dropped.
Yeah. Just these two, right?
The magnet tray is really handy. Loud noises, nobody can hear what I'm saying. The magnet tray is really, really helpful. Okay, see what else has got to go on this muffler guard. I'll keep working on this. Ooh.
Pass me that.
Go gentle. Is that longer than the rest? Oh yeah. Okay. Let's see. So what did they do? So we got a broken piece there. What is there one bolt or two bolts?
One. Oh, there's two, but one is missing.
One's missing?
Yeah.
Completely gone?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, there's two bolt holes here.
Are you sure?
Maybe. No, I don't know. There's two holes. Looks like there was bolts there at one time, but I only pulled one out, so. In the front there.
Where is that?
Right here.
Right there. Sorry. Sorry if it's...
Might have rattled out, eh?
Yeah, she probably did rattle out. So what size is that?
It's a weird it's a weird length.
Is that metric?
Probably.
We do have some M. I think that's M6. I don't know that it has to be that long. Well, okay, we'll fix that after. Not a big deal. And then this piece here, you could put a piece of tin across here and weld it, Jake, for a strengthener.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know why they. Oh yeah, I can see there's a little crack here. So yeah, this needs to get the small MIG side up. And they added this piece, I believe. This is an add-on, I think. I don't know if mine has that. Anybody know if that was on there? This piece here? So what we're going to do is we're going to fix the cracks with a welder. And that'll be good. Because that's what we do. We fix things. Alright, I'm getting back to this carburetor. Hang on. Yeah, very interesting. When trying to remove this cover, take note that the decal from the factory, the sticker goes right over both pieces. So you have to take the valve cap off and you got to slice the decal in order to pull the
Shroud off.
Pull that shroud off. Stand by. I'm going to use an extremely sharp knife, the OFA, to cut that, but I can't do this. Here.
But the valve.
You get a shot on that. Jake's going to do the video there. See if we can cut the valve off. Tickety boo. And then we'll, where is it? Right there. I'll slice the decal. It's not going to hurt nothing. There we go. And that releases it. So that gets us to this point. So we have the primer. Let's see. We'll just pull these two wires off. Or maybe we won't. Dang, burn it. They're on tight. So let's pull this wire here. Kill wire. Come on, baby. Holy Mackinac, these things ever. Is that crimped? What's going on there? Oh, I'm just going to leave it. I can't get it apart, Jake.
Yeah.
Just going to leave that. So what I'll do is I'll
take that off and just take the whole thing off.
And just let it set aside.
Yeah. It's not worth wrecking anything over.
No.
Got that feeling that you're going to break something trying to take that apart, so.
Yeah, leave it. Let her dangle. You can't do it, you can't do it, right? Wasn't meant to be. There we go. So we'll set that aside. That's out of our way. Now to get this cover, these two nuts got to come off.
Standoffs.
And that plastic piece comes out. I've done. I gotta do some James Condon gynecology fingers. You should watch that guy work on stuff. You'd swear he was a gynecologist in his past life. Okay, now this is the governor spring that'll fall out once in a while, and what it does is it stabilizes the governor, and then when it falls out, the governor just goes. It won't hold a steady RPM. It bounces constantly. It's quite infuriating. So we're going to pull the carburetor off. It's just a matter of sliding it off the studs, and then we're going to turn it upside down, exposing the parts that we think that's the problem. Needle nose.
Yeah.
Alright, sorry about the background noise, but pull the fuel line, undid the little spring, take the linkage off. The linkage is held by this little plastic guy here. It just clips on, like the old Ford carburetor, some of you guys will remember. We leave the primer hose on, don't need to take it off. So we're gonna get this carb off, and we'll show you what's going on. Here. Oh, lovely. There's your dirt problem. That might be your problem right there, lady. See it down there? And we had a problem with the carburetor gasket not in properly, so there's a couple of problems right there.
Somebody's had this carburetor apart before?
I would assume. Down that hole is the main jet and the emulsion tube. We'll be looking at that. You can see where some debris got in there. So I think we'll be putting this back together just a wee bit more carefully than the last guy. Stand by, I'll pull the emulsion tube. Alrighty. There's the emulsion tube. And here's the main jet. I don't suspect that the main jet would... It's pretty tiny, it might be dirty. I can see daylight through it, as you can see. And then
the emulsion tube.
Emulsion tube here, it may have some plug channels in it. Down the bore is pretty clean, but it's these tubes on the side. Oh, they look clean too. Could be a main jet issue. No, one on the bottom's plugged.
See it?
That one there is plugged.
Yeah, I can
very
see
bottom
it.
row. See, it's plugged up. All right, let's clean that out. Stand by.
All right.
So,
it's got some torch tip cleaners, and you just clean up the emulsion holes, and we'll spray it down after.
Yeah, we got lucky. These ones are fitting.
Yeah, they're very tiny holes.
Back in our Honda racing days, we used to swap these out with different motors. They leaned out. To meet emissions, a lot of these motors, they run touch lean. And this is where all the magic happens, is in the emulsion tube.
You don't want that when you're racing, that's for sure.
No, we tried to fatten it up as best as we could. Going through every hole.
You gotta burn fuel to make power, so it doesn't matter what a green guy tells you. That's just the way it goes, so.
Okay, this is really boring for people to watch, so let me get this all cleaned up and we'll get back to you. So this, we got to take out the idle adjustment screw to get at that red thing right there is the pilot tube or pilot jet. So we need to get at that to make sure it's clean. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to screw this in all the way. Half a turn, one turn, turn and a half, two turns, 2 1/4 turns out. 2 1/4, so remember 2 1/4. So we can take this all the way out.
2 1/4.
2 1/4. And then we can pry this guy. That's the retainer. Some carbs have, or some of them it's all in one piece, some it's not. So don't be worried if it's all in one piece. And then you work that out. And that's the pilot jet. Whoa! Look at that. So we got a bit of O-ring in there. Yeah.
The O-ring started to deteriorate on the pilot jet.
Yep. Isn't that lovely? You can see all the little bits. And that's the pilot jet down that hole. I'm gonna see if that's plugged or not.
Okay, pause.
Yep. So we got it cleaned out. You can't see through it because it's a 90-degree passage into this hole. So it's basically cross drilled. You can see the little brass jet pressed into that plastic part. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some lube. I'm not going to put this in dry because I don't want to harm the O-ring any more than it is. So it's just a matter of lining the flat up to that. Is that in? Of course,
Yep.
I don't think it's in. No, it's not in. Of course, it's going to be stubborn to want to go back in its hole. Okay, stand by. I'm going to get something to tap that in. It's all the way down in its slot. Everything is good. Good as this Huye carburetor is going to let it be. So I got that retainer in there, and I'm going to put the idle speed screw back in. And we were 2 1/4 turns out, right?
Yep.
So we're going to seat it. Okay. So there's our quarter. Wait a minute. Screwed that up. So let's go half a turn, 1, half a turn, 2, quarter. There we go. Now, the only reason why I took well, we blew the float out to clean it out. We got the emulsion tube cleaned out. I don't like putting stuff. I just ran carb cleaner through everything. So I'm just giving it a quick shot. The product that we use is MP metal protector.
It's good stuff.
AMSOIL lubricates, protects against corrosion. So I throw that down there because I don't like stuff being dry with white metal, zinc, hot metal, whatever you want to call it. Stuff that they make these carburetors out of. I'm sorry about the background noise. So I'm screwing that back in. There. And we didn't have any flooding issues. The needle looks very good, and I would suspect it's not a very old machine. So I would suspect. And you'll notice, a quick note, that these are all spring loaded nowadays. You can see the little spring down in there.
Yep.
That's for vibration. Because these are 1-cylinder motors and they vibrate. So they do a lot of stuff nowadays so that the motors don't succumb to
some of the problems of old.
Yeah, vibration issues. If I can get that lined up, we get the pin in. There you go. That pin just kind of floats in there. And we'll get the. I hope I can get this O-ring to come to behave itself. And to sit back there because I don't have readily available a spare. We got the bowl all cleaned out, so all that black debris is out of there. That looks like it's going to work still. There is a gasket on there. Make sure that's there, or you're going to have a carburetor leak. And I'm going to use a 10mm wrench so I can get feel. There. Carburetor is done. So I washed everything down, so I'm going to hit it with the spray. And that is not going to hurt anything, and I'll tell you what, it's going to stop it from corroding. And it's going to lubricate all the linkages. So it's kind of a happy thing. So that's it. That's the carburetor. Cleaned out and ready to go back on. Okay. Yeah. So the complaints that Jake was having with this machine was
it wouldn't take load with fully open choke.
Yeah.
It wouldn't move, hardly move any like powder. As soon as we get some, we're in this weird, like we have melting snow right now. We're having a very mild winter, so the snow is heavy. So it's doing a lot of work to throw it.
So now what I like to do is I don't use the power tools to do up the stuff like the carb studs and any of the finicky stuff, because I don't want to damage it. I'm not sure what I'm doing here. I'm hitting buttons. It's a new phone. This is the governor linkage, or it could be known as the carburetor linkage, whatever you want to call it. There's the magical little spring. Now you're going to pull that over, put it back in the hole, and then rotate. Sorry, let me do that again, you guys. I got you right out of the frame. So there's the governor linkage there, that rod. That goes in the hole. You rotate this plastic guy here. You try to. I got girl fingers today. Oh, there she goes. Click. Right into place. Now you got to fish out the spring. One Jake hypodermic himself. So Jake, you're going to hold that on there. You got to remember, you guys, not to hypodermic yourself.
Some little parts.
And then you hang on to her. And it goes in that hole. That's it. So make sure it looks like this. You can see the little spring, and you can see your governor rod. And there's quite a bit of tension on that governor rod because the engine's not running, so it's pulling back. So let's recap. We got the studs were tightened by hand. Good, good snug feel. The debris shield's in place. That's dirty too, isn't it? We fixed the carburetor. I just want to check.
Clean the carb, the
Clean the
emulsion
carb.
tube, clean the main jet was slightly, and then the pilot as
jet.
well.
Yeah.
So we're hoping. It always was hunting a little bit ever since we first brought it home.
Okay.
It's not a new to us machine. So.
No. It's new to us, not new.
Or yeah, not new. And it was always hunting a little bit.
So get the fuel line back.
Worse this season though, so we're intervening.
There we go. There we go. That's back on. Okay. So I'm going to put the rest of this cover on. You guys don't need to see that in a video. It's pretty basic, pretty self-explanatory, and we'll get back to you. Kill it. I did that wrong last time too.
Okay.
So that was this screw here. These fasteners are showing a little bit of sign of some corrosion. So what I'm doing is I'm putting a little bit of anti-seize on them, so that the next time we gotta take this apart, because there will be a next time, we are able to do so. And if you guys were watching very closely in the video, you'll notice that I made a screw up. Forgot to put this cover on first. So through the magic of television and editing, I was able to fix it without you guys knowing. There you go, torqued. So now we got these two wires. I've got to go. This one here. Did I screw this up? And it goes like that. And then this is the primer bulb hose. You gotta remember to put that back on. We won't have any primer bulb action. No tools required, just slips on. And then, oh, that would have been, was that wrapped around? Yeah, that would have wrapped around there, I goes. Okay, this is annoying. This goes in there. There we go. Make sure that that doesn't short out against anything, because that's the kill wire.
That's been a problem before too.
Yeah. Okay. So all that kind of lives like that. And that's done. Alright, not going to bore you with video of me putting the bolts back in. So the next shot we're going to have it up in the service position, and we'll be going after that shaft.